So about a couple months ago, I saw Transformers Rise of the Beast on opening day. Yeah, I know, I'm sorry for doing it so late. Given the fact that Bumblebee was a huge success in 2018, and the fact that it was actually good, I was expecting for this one to be on the same level as that movie. And it was. But apparently, to no one's surprise, the reviews for the critics were mixed. And you know, I kinda had some trouble processing the movie on first watch, so after rewatching it a second time and thinking about it a little more, what the fuck are critics on? Sometimes critics just can't be happy for what they have. And at the end of the day, sure, it's their opinions and such, and I can form my own opinions, but I really don't understand them. I don't know why they decided to be harsh on this one like the Mario movie, but honestly, just trust the audience instead. But anyways, let's get on with this movie, shall we? So in the beginning, we are shown for Unicron's arrival to destroy the Maximals planet and to get the Transwarp Key. The Transwarp Key is a device that allows you to go to separate universes and explore other planets revolving those other universes. The current Maximal leader that is named Apelink is trying to run away with the Transwarp Key from the Predacons that were sent from Unicron. The other Maximals, which are Optimus Primal, Cheetor, Rhinox, and Airazor, jump in to save Apelink. And then Unicron sends in Scourge. Apelink needs to protect the key, so he gives it to Optimus Primal and announces him as the new Maximal leader. Apelink dies from Scourge, but the Maximals have successfully taken the key. In present day, we are shown our two human protagonists, Noah and Elena. Elena works at a museum while Noah is struggling for a job and is also ex-military. Noah is planning to steal a Porsche for some cash, which is Mirage. At that moment, Elena activates an artifact which has the Transwarp Key and makes a big beacon in the sky. This causes the Autobots to realize that they have a way home. Mirage drives Noah to their hangout, and we have a police chase with Noah and Mirage, which was really fun. Mirage and Noah start bonding until the other Autobots arrive. Optimus, Bumblebee, and RC are really skeptical of Mirage bringing a human here, but with Noah, they sneak into the museum, encounter Elena, and the Terracons came by to steal the key and eventually do so, but Airazor went in and drove them off. Airazor tells the others that Scourge has half the key, so the Autobots go on an adventure, find the other Maximals, and try to stop Scourge from using the Transwarp Key to open a portal for Unicron. Now, usually people would say that the Transformers films have generic and not really interesting plots altogether, but the story in Rise of the Beasts is actually engaging because it's all well put. Noah and Elena are actual good human protagonists, which is something I wouldn't really be saying much in a Transformers film. Yeah, sure, Bumblebee had good humans too, but not all of them were acceptable. Usually the humans would be standing like right in the middle of the battle doing nothing, trying to run away and being useless, but no. Literally in the third act, Noah has a suit on killing the Terracon soldiers. And the fact that he is ex-military makes sense because this is how he would fight, I guess. It's also a nice little homage considering the fact we had suits in G1. Elena is also put into good use. Knowing her way around the artifacts, she was able to put in the kill code at the last minute to stop the portal. Not only do these two human protagonists serve the plot in a good way, but they work around the Autobots emotionally too. Speaking of the Autobots, they are done perfectly in this one too. Optimus Prime has a character arc in this one, which is something I sort of expected in here, but it's handled great. Optimus has to learn that being with humans are not all that bad, and that they are worth saving. This is accompanied by Primal because he has been around humans for long and he has learned to trust them. Bumblebee, RC, and Wheeljack are also great. Bumblebee dies later on in the film and returns to the third act with an amazing scene. RC and Wheeljack kind of just accompany the others for the sake of the adventure, but they didn't feel left out unlike others, but we'll get to that. By the way, I have to acknowledge the elephant in the room. I don't hate Wheeljack's design. My friend Linkimus actually told me this, and it actually does make a lot more sense when you think about it. The reason why he's like that is because when he was fresh off the war off Cybertron, he was surrounded by the culture and the people of Peru for the last 7 years, due to the events of Bumblebee. He learned how to speak the language and stuff, so it's the same Wheeljack from the Bumblebee movie, just with a different design. Mirage was pretty much the one doing Bumblebee's job in this movie as well, which is being emotionally attached to our main character. At first, I was a little concerned that they used the Porsche and gave him that whole excitement vibe, similar to how Jazz is, because he's a Porsche and he does act like this. But it actually kind of just felt appropriate for Mirage, considering the fact that he's not much of like a character in G1, and the fact that he is a race car it wouldn't really feel acceptable for him to be in disguise like that in public. Stratosphere was kind of just there as well to take the Autobots and the humans to Peru, but he has a good design. As for the Maximals, I thought Primal was done great. I'm actually surprised they put that much emotion expressions for him compared to shit like Lion King. Airazor was also handled good, though a little bit disappointed that she never really transformed. Plus she dies at like the end of the second act, but it was for a good reason and that did raise the stakes more. Cheetor and Rhinox were kinda handled mixed on me. A lot of people were really disappointed by the fact that these two don't do much in the film, especially Rhinox. Even though it doesn't really bother me much, it's still a Beast Wars film. And I really did wish we got to see more of them. Maybe have the movie be like 2 hours and 20 to 30 minutes and flesh out a little bit more of the Maximals, and that would have made it better. The villains were also very amazing. Scourge is probably the best Transformers villain at the moment. Yeah, sorry Sentinel, but you weren't much anyways.
I also liked his companions Battletrap and Nightbird.
I do wish they gave Battletrap and Nightbird some more personality and more to do. Scourge does this thing where whenever he kills an Autobot, a Decepticon, or whoever, he takes the logos and has them as trophies. Kind of similar to Lockdown since he is a bounty hunter. So I thought that was pretty sick. Unicron was also fucking fantastic. I was a little worried they were going to handle him as some off-screen villain for like 3 minutes. But he was basically the second main villain of the film compared to Scourge. I absolutely adored his planet mode, and I'm hoping to see the robot mode in the sequels. Now the CGI was something a lot of people were kind of worried about because in the first trailer, it didn't look all that polished. And there were some clips here and there. But after we got the second trailer and more TV spots, things did look a lot better. And in the final movie, there were some things I sorta noticed, which brings me to my 2 nitpicks. When Inkblink gets killed off at the very beginning and then Scourge takes his logo as a trophy, after one shot, the logo is just not there anymore. This sort of bothered me throughout the film because from there, I was getting skeptical. Fortunately, the CGI was good for the most part, although nothing will top the first 3 movies CGI. But then I noticed the scene where Wheeljack has his ears on for battle. Now, you pretty much know how everyone was just being a baby about that design, so they were so happy when they saw the ears. But the ears were only there for that one shot and never shown again. I guess this was intentional because the people complaining about the design were babies. But I mean, for a $200 million budget film, it wouldn't hurt a little bit just to have the ears and maybe the mask there throughout the third act.
Okay, so while I was doing some research for the film, I noticed a little shot from when Unicron is about to come to Earth and when Optimus sees him. You see in the background that RC is not shooting anything? I feel sympathy for Weta since they clearly didn't have enough time to finish all of the visual effects. But that doesn't mean I did not hate the fight scenes. The fight scenes were amazing.
This is probably the first time I left the theater satisfied with the fight scenes because they were just that entertaining. Also, I kind of heard stock footage from other films.
Like for Primal's roar, it was basically just Kong's roar. And then I heard some Hellhawk sounds from Airazor.
Maximals.
And when Airazor was like attacking Scourge with her fire, I heard Godzilla's atomic breath. The reason why it's probably like this is because they hired the same sound designer that was used for GVK. While it didn't bother me too much, it took me out of the movie at certain places. I mean, hey, what can I say? I'm used to those sounds from the Monsterverse. The music was surprisingly great. Scourge's theme goes hard, and I love how they brought back Steve Jablonsky. I can't really play the clip because copyright, but it's this scene. I really like how they incorporated the music because it kind of makes it feel more awesome. I like the 90s hip-hop music too. This does take place in the 90s and the aesthetic felt very fitting for this film. I love the Peru representation as well. I thought it was done very excellent. Some of the cinematography was excellent too. It's a beautifully well-made film. Lastly, I want to talk about the ending. So the ending, G.I. Joe crossover. Lots of people are probably going to be pissed that they're going to screw up this crossover, but I'm kind of interested, not gonna lie. Sure, G.I. Joe does have many mediocre movies, I'll say that. But since both properties are owned by Hasbro, and Steven takes inspiration from lots of stuff, I think it could play out nice for once. They have crossed over in the past before, and I'm willing to give them a chance. Overall, I really enjoyed Transformers Rise of the Beasts. Sure, it's the lowest grossing Transformers movie at the moment, but that's because it was put right next to Spider-Verse. which was pretty much a death sentence. Luckily, it broke even with its budget, and I'm happy that it was a minor success. I definitely don't see myself hating this one anytime, unlike Dominion, and while Bumblebee was overall a better movie, that might change because this one is genuinely good. If you want to have fun, then go ahead and see it because it's definitely for you. It didn't disappoint me much at all. And to conclude this video, I'm gonna go ahead and give it a 7.4 out of 10, which could possibly go up. Bye-bye. You know, I could review some 2023 movies that I've watched this year, maybe next year, but hey, I guess that's a lot of planning that I'll probably have to do. I just hope that I probably don't have to do more reviews this December. Oh, come on.